The Crit Show contains elements of horror, fantasy violence, and adult language. Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
Hold on.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Crit Show, where Tass is crushing an orange crush
It's so tasty.
moments before we go live.
Did you add another Luigi to my collection?
Not since the last Luigi I added to your collection that I don't know. I add a new one in every couple of months, so I don't know which ones you've noticed and which ones you haven't.
Okay, I have 5 cars.
Yeah, is this known lore?
Hi, listeners. I like Luigi from Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
And I had a little Luigi toy here, and then Tass gifted me one, and Jesse gifted me one, and then some listeners gifted me some when they heard about it. And now I have a collection of technically 6 Mario Kart Luigis, all different. One of them, a horrifying Luigi, has transformed into a car, and it seems like his belly is the hood. And then 4 other like statue-esque Luigis. My part of the table is just all Luigis.
All facing Rev, like staring at him.
Yeah, they're throwing me their power.
Is Luigi's the plural of Luigi? Or
Luigi?
Is Luigi already plural and it's a Luigo?
Anyway, sorry, there was a new car, I thought. A new car!
Yeah. Do. So, last time there were 15 Luigis, but this episode there's 16 Luigis.
That's how we measure time in Clockwinder World.
And you guys were on a quest to discover another forbidden Luigi in the Luigi forges. The Hello Guigi forges. No, last time you had come to your suspicions of both Doris and Vaughn, warned the rest of the squad, brainstormed a way to keep Vaughn at least from accompanying you, which he was real sad about, Einon, jerk.
Well, if he hadn't shot me later.
Well, and you'll never know what he was going to say when you put an arrow right through him.
Yep.
Because, yes, it came to battle. You made your way to the forges proper, just got into the grounds, decided it was time to confront Doris, and by decided, that sort of implied that it was a group thing. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a Kade thing.
That's fair.
Clocked her with a wrench. It came to fisticuffs. Vaughn joined the battle from the top of a hill. You put both of them down. Not dead. Not yet. Not necessarily.
Yeah, the way you said it was too late for us to find out what he was going to say, I was like, oh, did he die between episodes? Did he die off camera?
Yeah, this episode starts and he is just suddenly a corpse in Einon's hands.
Jake's like, I had a timer running. If you hadn't stopped to go to the bathroom and get that orange crush, we would have been
he would have still
totally
been alive.
fine.
But Vaughn's just been bleeding out in real time.
Yeah, once again, orange crush ends a life.
You hear that, Orange Crush Company? We know. We're coming for you.
We're on to you.
Which manufacturer makes Crush?
Orange. Not many people know this. That's the brand. It's like the make and model.
If it's the Pepsi Company, I'll come for them. If it's Coca-Cola, they're too big. I can't take on Coca-Cola.
I can't win this fight.
but
Pepsi we can take.
Yeah. Jake Purley, famed Mountain Dew lover, will gladly take on Pepsi.
That's why I know all their secrets. They're inside of me.
Yeah. It's a size thing because, I'm going to forget the second one, but Pepsi is not the second largest soft drink manufacturer, which you would think would be the case.
I would think that, but is Coke the first?
It is.
According to the can, it is produced under the authority of Dr. Pepper / 7-Up Inc.
Did Dr. Pepper strike out on his own? Is he a different entity?
Is Dr. Pepper a self-made man?
I believe that is exactly the case.
Wow.
He got his degree and then was like, I'm leaving you all behind.
I guess that makes sense because I can think of places that serve Coke products and Pepsi products, both of which serve Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that? Trademark 2021 Dr. Pepper /7up, Inc.
Huh.
Well, hope you've enjoyed this episode
Yeah.
of The Critshow.
Welcome to SodaCast. It's our Soda Pop fan cast. We talk theories, reviews.
Oh, we would have so much to say.
We get a few we get a few dense episodes out of it, and then a few thin episodes, and then it would die on the vine, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go back to Einon, where we left off. You have a very unwell Vaughn in hand, barely clinging to consciousness. His hood has fallen back off of his head. His face is pale. His hair is unkempt. He looks rough, but he is talking.
Is there something special about this core, or is it just something that she wanted to disrupt?
I don't know. We were just supposed to get the quartz. There's nowhere else to get them.
And what were you getting out of it?
Training, knowledge.
All right. I'll get into my pack and just find some clean rags and such and just start trying to bind up his wound a bit, at least stop the blood flow. I don't think I have a ton of knowledge on doctoring here, but I can at least patch him a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he just lays still. He's breathing with difficulty, but he doesn't do anything to stop you. It doesn't seem like he's in any physical condition to do so, even if he wanted to.
All right. I don't know what you're capable of, but it's a good thing that you shot at me instead of one of my friends down there, because if it had been them, I'd slit your throat right here.
I knew that you would be okay. I've heard a lot about you from Keen. I really do admire you. That wasn't a lie.
I appreciate that very much. So forgive me for this, and I'm going to stomp on his dominant hand.
I'd heard that you could do a front flip and catch it with your butt. Ow! You stomp on his hand. It hurts him very bad.
Just in case you get a second wind.
Oh, fair. I deserve that one. That one's on me.
And I'll make my way back down.
Okay, you leaving him up here?
Yep.
Okay. Maxine and Kade down in the courtyard. You have incapacitated Doris and the rest of the people unaccounted for. What are you all doing?
So nothing good in her pockets, huh?
I found these components on her belt. Think she could use some of it to do ether stuff, but no information.
Okay, so I want to try something.
What do you want to try?
I don't want to bind her hands together, but see if we can make her make fists and bind those somehow, because I was noticing that it's a lot of intricate finger movements.
Oh, okay. Sure. And I'll go through my bag and grab a bandana.
Okay.
And rip it in half. I'll take one hand, you take the other?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just give her little fist mittens.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think there's any challenge to that. You just spend a minute binding up her hands.
Do you think Vaughn was the only one in on it, or was anyone else in town a part of this?
I mean, at least nobody with us, because I assume that we'd know by now if someone else out with the group was part of it.
What are we going to do with her? We can't just bring her on the train and dump her in another swamp, can we?
As you are having this conversation, Einon comes crawling back through that gap in the wall. Well, maybe not. It's a lot bigger now that you knocked part of it onto her. He comes stepping casually through a large chasm in the wall. You can see that there is some fresh blood on his clothing and on his hands.
What happened? Is he dead?
Not yet. I'm not certain he'll survive, but he is strong. They're working for Sevna.
What?
They? But both of them?
Yes.
Is he also an ether user?
In training, in theory, or was going to be, they were bade to bring her the crystal from the core.
But the crystal... We just brought Sevna closer to here than she was before.
Well, we brought her closer to this movement core, but also further away from the one that she was at, so she's just after ether quartz. She could go either way, really.
No, I don't mean as a which one will she go to. I just mean in the sense of if we dropped her off kind of this direction and she knew there were people here working for her, there's a chance she could be coming up behind us because she knows this is here and she sent people here.
I'm curious as to why she wants ether quartz from the movement cores. Is it just to power them down so they leak more ether? If she wanted just the quartz, you'd think that she would just kill an ether spider or something. Use the crystallized body. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it's enough for the functioning.
I mean, she probably wants, like, I don't know how to say it, like the full ones, the full of ethery goodness and the taint of leaked ether.
Well, maybe if we get in there and fix this movement core, we can tell the salamanders, and they can be more on guard to keep her or anyone else from coming in here.
Yeah, like I hope we can find a way to like communicate with these things, because we need to get this forge going again, because I think that'll help keep the core like in better condition. Just if it's working, if it's doing stuff around it, and people coming in and out.
Kade,
Yeah.
Take a deep breath.
That lady hit me with lightning.
Yeah, I know. I saw. Are you okay?
Yeah, I just feel a little lamped up from it.
Yeah, your hair's sticking up a little, and I'll like kind of pat the top of his head, like, oh, it's not really laying down.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's use that energy then. Let's get inside, figure it out, fix the movement cores. I don't know what's wrong with this one, but hopefully it'll be a quick fix.
Okay, yeah, let's go inside.
All right. I go over to the rubble and pick up the biggest stone I can physically lift, and I drag it over and set it across Doris's legs.
Okay.
Wicked Witch style.
Put a house on her.
Yeah, I don't think there's a roll necessary for that one either. And she is unconscious, so there is no reaction from her.
Yeah, I'm hoping not to crush her, just enough that she would not be able to do this by herself, especially with her hands bound.
Okay.
I don't know for certain if any of the rest of them out there are working with these two, and honestly, I probably should take a moment to try to gather them all up, see the fate of Ratigan and those with him. But I also feel like time is of the essence here.
Yeah, I hope they're okay, but I think we should push on.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I just want to go because I want to see it. There's not kids in danger anymore, so.
Yeah, and like honestly, if anybody was hurt, I don't know how much we could do to help. They're townspeople. They are the ones that are going to have doctors and knowledge on how to take care of themselves out in the wilderness. So I think we should go to the movement course.
And this we can help with, and no one else can.
Let's press on.
Einon, I think I'm going to challenge that in you.
Ooh.
Okay.
You should have been there. You are afraid to let people
Nice.
fall victim elsewhere.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I think you are compelled to at least go check on Ratigan.
Give me that point.
Okay, take it.
I start to take a step or two and just cuss under my breath and shake my head. If you two must press on, I'll catch up. There is a lot of blood on that boy's knuckles, and I'm afraid of what has happened to the group he was with.
Do you want us to wait for you?
Well, I certainly wouldn't hate that, but I understand the urge if you feel that you need to get in quickly, especially with the shadow of Sevna over us. I am just working on a hunch here, but I like to think that if the salamanders see the symbol of the clockwinders, that they will not be as threatened by you.
Yeah, it may not be a bad idea for us to go in first. We also don't have, I'm looking at, like, the blood stains on Einon's clothing and hands and stuff. The copper smell.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Does that mean we should maybe leave Smee out here as well? He could guard Doris, and maybe it wouldn't seem like a threat?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. I will be as speedy as I possibly can and catch up. And I'm going to crawl my way back up and over and make my way to where I had last seen Ratigan.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's start with Maxine and Kade for the moment. So you turn to make your way across the grounds, across this courtyard. Like the rest of this facility so far, it shows its history. It shows a past of vibrancy and use and life. There is what remains of a large stone fountain in the center of this courtyard. Around its perimeter, there are the skeletons of wooden carts and stands, as if the merchants who utilize the forges might have sold their wares out here, or else other traveling salesmen who wanted to capitalize on the people that were here for those great artisans. But there is nothing else. You don't see creatures or critters. You don't hear anything, just the soft wind whistling through this graveyard of creativity. And built into the hills, you see a set of enormous, intricately carved stone doors that are currently closed.
Oh, wow. This place must have been beautiful in its heyday.
Yeah, it's like a whole other city. Well, not city, but like part of the city that they could have again.
So, what do you think? Should we just go through the front doors there and try and be up front and reason with the salamanders? Or do we try to sneak in and just hope we don't get caught?
I think if we're going in as clockwinders, we go through the front door and we make ourselves known and we find out if they remember us.
Right, yes, because we're clockwinders and we're supposed to be here. And they liked the forges. They worked here and ate minerals and wore the fire, and they're going to like us too. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Okay.
So straight through the front doors.
I wouldn't even say like straight through the front doors, but open the front doors and look inside first.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes a difference.
Yeah. As you approach, you lay hands on one of the great, tall, spirally iron door handles. These doors dwarf you. They are like 3 times your height, and the handle itself is like 1.5 times your height. But you are able to get hands on it, and you give it a pull, and it does not budge.
I thought you were going to Home Alone us and that they were just going to be scorching hot.
That's a great idea. Hold on. Let's roll it back. Delete what I just said.
Yeah. Is there like locks or anything on the door?
Feels like a burgle.
Yeah, I guess I don't even know if I'm not looking for locks to pick, but I'm looking for how do I
Infiltrate.
Yeah.
I think in order to, I'm trying to think of the right words here, like locate and I guess bypass or
locate
whatever.
And activate.
And yeah, in order to figure it out and get your way in, that's going to be kind of tough. I think you're trying to beat a 4.
Okay. I could not get higher. 9.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
That's more than the whole ladder has on it.
I know.
That's more than a legendary.
I imagine this as Kade, like, putting his hands on the door and then just, like, turning to Maxine and, like, putting one hand on the door and then it just opens. He doesn't even look at it. He's just...
All right, so that will succeed and get you a boost. Mark that down. You spend a little bit of time poking at this door, and you find that it is meant to appear as if it is just jammed, as if it's old heavy stone and it's wedged shut and it's hard to get through. But you find some telltale signs of this having been manipulated. I think you also notice some like scorch marks every now and then. And you discover that the salamanders have effectively barred this door. Like they have tried to lock themselves in and keep other people out, but they are not mechanists or anything. They don't know how to use like tools and shit. So it seems like it's kind of rudimentary what they have done. You find that you are able to like grab one of these broken pieces of board, give it some leverage and wiggles and like dislodge whatever they have barring it from the other side, and you get that door openable.
Okay, door's open. Good news.
What's the bad news?
The salamanders are the ones who tried to like bar it from the inside. But that may just be because of adventurers coming in and trying to, find old treasures.
Yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense. That sounds like something that they would do. Okay, let's knock.
Yeah. So yeah, I open that part of the door, but then just bang on it while we're kind of still standing outside in the light of day.
Okay. Are you like opening it wide? Like how much of a look inside are you trying to get?
Yeah, like wide.
Okay. So you open that door wide, and what daylight there is in this sky spills in. But it doesn't really, like, illuminate much because everything is already illuminated in here. There are plenty of sconces with torches, and they're all lit. They're all aflame already. You are looking into a grand entry hall. It is rows of carved columns out of fine, smooth white stone. You can see that there are sort of rows established through here where there are, again, tables and carts, but everything in here is in much better condition. It has not been the victim of the elements like everything out in the courtyard was. It also appears to just be of a higher quality from what you can tell. Like even when they were all in good condition, it seems like this was where more finery, the better things, like the better vendors were allowed to post up in the visitor halls here, in the entry halls. There is plenty of room to move around, lots of open space. You can see that these extend a substantial distance further into the hills, and you can tell that there is a bit of a grade downwards, that like even just when you step foot through the door, it's going to start taking you subterranean. But the visitor halls seem to do that at a pretty slow pace. And as you knock on that door and look in here, you hear it reverberate, bouncing off of the walls and the columns, but nothing else seemed to happen.
Oh, wow. Arkady, look. It's so much more upkept in here. It's preserved.
Yeah, maybe the salamanders are still doing their thing, but they just don't have the human side.
Yeah, but even the human side of things in here, it's such a clear glimpse into what the history of this place was like.
Oh, yeah.
Hello? Hello?
We're here to fix the ether core.
Yeah, clockwinders. We're clockwinders.
Which of you has the better rapport? Oh yeah, Kade got none, right?
I got none. She got 4.
I got a +4.
All right, Maxine, why don't you give me an overcome roll with rapport? I think you are trying to overcome superb difficulty here, though. Like, a lot of damage has been done to the salamander's relationship with people. It would be tough to override it with just this introduction. So you're trying to beat a 5.
Oh, I got a 5.
Okay. Do you want to spend anything to bump it up? Can you?
I have a boost that you can use if you want it.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. What is that boost? How does it relate to his opening of the door?
Ooh, actually, I won't use that boost. I'll use my boost. Or no, my free invoke on nests in the hall. Salamanders, like, I know they're here. I know what their thing is.
Okay. So that will bump you up to a success. You hear a bit of a hiss that at first kind of sounds like a snake hiss, but then you realize is more like a flame on low gas that starts in one spot in this hall, and then you hear it reciprocated elsewhere in this hall. You hear a few of them kind of bounce around. And then from behind one of the fairly near columns, like magic, a salamander emerges. It is a towering figure. It rests on a long, powerful snake-like tail, but even from the ground up, it is still over 8 feet tall.
Wow.
Its body is just engulfed in a low flame, and it is kind of smoldering. It's got like a mostly humanoid torso, but it does have long, like clawed hands and sort of a serpentine face. And it comes out from its hiding place and just into the middle aisle that you are looking down deeper into the forges, and looks at you all, and it looks not thrilled, but it is clearly not on the attack. It just kind of holds its position there looking at you.
Whatever happened with our plan for making badges?
Oh, I got one.
I will pull out my journal with the clockwinders symbol on it and hold it up to this salamander and take a step forward.
Hello, I'm Maxine Hollis, and I'm a clockwinder. And this is Arkady, and he's a clockwinder too. And we're here for the movement core because we're clockwinders.
To repair it.
To fix it. To repair it and to keep it safe and to restart the forge.
And I hold up my wrench. No weapons, only tools.
Yeah, tools and books, which are kind of tools if you use them the right way. The knowledge inside can be used to... Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now.
As you start talking, you're holding up the journal, you're holding up the wrench. Like, there is a moment of apprehension from this creature, and it does not look afraid. It looks like it is ready to step if need be. But it does seem to realize that you are not moving with aggression, and it advances a little bit in your direction, Maxine, as you get closer. And you hold up the journal, and it looks down, and it seems to contemplate the emblem on the front, the like metal gear inlaid in the leather, and it reaches out kind of slowly with one of these sharp clawed fingers and like draws it across the gear, and you see that it leaves a little bit of char in the leather and like quickly heats the metal of that cog, but that heat seems to dissipate fairly quickly as it removes its hand.
Oh boy.
Let's jump over to Einon. So Einon, behind you, you see your compatriots are making their way across the courtyard. They start working on the door as you get outside of the wall and start heading back up the hill. Are you going back by where you left Vaughn?
Yes.
As you approach that area, you do not see Vaughn. It is as if he disappeared.
Well, damn it. Is there any sign of a trail, or did he use his Hearthstone?
You can try to overcome with notice. I think this is going to be pretty fucking hard, because like he is hurt and that is a disadvantage, but he is using everything he's got to not leave a trail and get away scot-free here. I think you're trying to beat a 6. Fantastic difficulty.
Oh, God. All right, I'm going to try. I don't even need to spend anything. 7!
Yes, you are able to pick up a trail. It's very short. There is a little bit of blood trail, like you can see where he kind of like picked himself up, and there were a few droplets of blood, and then that trail vanishes, but you get a direction. And you can tell that he is not heading back towards town. He is not heading in like the direction you knew any of the groups are going. He's not heading down towards the forges. It seems like that trail just leads generally south.
Okay, that is not what I'm here for, but that gives me a very good idea of his capability. So, I mean, it's only been a couple of minutes, so I just kind of yell in that direction. I'm sure I'll see you again, my boy.
I think well off in the distance in that direction, you hear what sounds like a horse whinny, but there's sort of like an echo to it, like a reverb to it.
Interesting. As if it was coming from like a canyon, like an echo, like a,
What?
Like a magic horse, maybe.
Where are you leading
That's
me?
what I'm saying. That's what I'm leading. I'm like, is it something like, is he in somewhere weird that I'm like, oh, he's like found a good point of egress, or is this ether? Like, do I know the difference?
Oh, I see. I think you could give me a separate lore roll.
Sure.
This one I don't think is as hard. Not easy though. Maybe a 3. Say you're beating a 3.
Okay. 4.
Okay. Yeah, it does have like the sound of like something not quite material, as if it is an ethereal steed of some kind that he may have summoned from however far he got away on foot to get further faster.
And I just kind of bark, information is power, so is a magic horse.
What kind of whinny? Is it like a scared horse or like an excited horse, like a hungry horse? Give me
It's like
give me the sound.
Ads.
And then I just turn back towards this area and I give the loudest, longest whistle I can, just a sharp whistle, and yell out, "Gather up, the ruse is over."
I think that a few seconds pass with like no response to that, and then you hear footsteps approaching rapidly, and you see somebody come like running out of the trees in your direction. It is somebody that was part of that dozen, that was part of the mob, nobody that you interacted directly with.
Okay.
But it is a young woman. She was one of the trappers, and she's like kind of breathless. He got Radigan.
Is he dead?
He's very near.
Damn it. There are no children. There's no one to find. Gather up everyone you can and see to Radigan. We need to get him back to town, and any of the rest that might have been injured that were with his group.
Come with me.
All right.
And she leads you back through the trees, and you start to hear like more voices as you progress, and you reach a small, again, it's not super densely forested up here in the hills, but there is something of a clearing. And in the middle of it are a handful of these people, more than just one squad's worth. At least a second squad has reconvened here, but a few of them are like kneeling around Radigan, and you can see that he is laying on the ground in some fallen leaves and dirt. There is blood just blossoming across his shirt, across the front of his torso. You can see that there's a bit of a blood trail where it seems like he has scooted himself here from where he went down a short distance away. And he is like trying to sit upright, and he is trying to stay conscious, and he looks just as angry and shitty as he has every time you've seen him. Some of those people, though, are like hovering over him, but they're not healers. Like, they don't know what to do.
I snap to them, "Go out, find the rest, gather everyone here. For anyone that doesn't know, there are no children to find. They were illusory. These two, Doris and Vaughn, they worked for a witch named Sevna, and I want you all to remember that name. If she comes poking around your town, she does not deserve your kindness. She's trying to destroy what the Clockwinders do. and those two were going to lead you into danger to achieve their goals. Do you understand? They did this to Radigan.
There are nods of assent and vocal acknowledgments. Some of them sound more scared, some of them sound more angry, but the few trappers among the number here get up and they all take off in different directions to try and gather the rest.
I get what little left I have of supplies and crouch down with Radigan. I am truly sorry, friend, that I left him with you. I suspected that he might try something, but I hoped it wouldn't be this extreme.
He grunts. I was watching him like a hawk. Wouldn't let him out of my sight, and he was pretty quick to pick up on that. Knew he wasn't going to get past me without a fight. 1 second I was looking at him, he passed behind a tree and like he disappeared. Next thing I knew, I had a knife in my belly. He was standing right next to me.
I am so sorry. Ether can be a powerful tool.
You think Keen knew?
No, not for a second do I believe that.
Yeah, they're too dumb.
Well, you were certainly sharp, and I'm sorry. We're going to get you out of here. You just have to stop fucking struggling.
He grunts, sort of a laugh. His eyes are kind of like fluttering, and he does like let his head loll back. You could call it relaxing, I guess.
Yeah, similar here. I'm just going to do what little I can to staunch the blood flow, at least so that the others, when they arrive, will have an easier time getting him back. As I'm doing that, I tell him, Vaughn has gotten away, though he was quite a bit worse than you were, actually. I would be very surprised if you all ever see him again, but obviously spread the word. Doris we have subdued for the moment, but I don't know the extent of what she can do. Hopefully we'll be able to deliver her back to the town, and you all can do what you see fit with someone that intended to betray you.
One of these figures that is kneeling over him, a particularly young lad, like too young to have been part of this, it seems, looks over at you. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think we need to get him back to town. Can you please? None of us can move through the terrain like you can.
Yes, but I'm going to need help, and it's going to be slow going. And I'm just like looking back over my shoulder, literally trapped between I should have been there, next time I will be. Like the people I'm loyal to, the people I'm trying to help, like I am trapped right now. I give such a heavy, heavy sigh, and I have to close my eyes and just say out loud to myself, I trust my team more than I trust myself. And I will help pick Radigan up.
All right, Einon, I think this is going to take the form of a challenge. Because I think I need a couple of overcome actions from you. So one is going to be an overcome with athletics to navigate the terrain quickly and successfully to get him back. The other is going to be an overcome with lore to use your understanding of medicine to keep him stabilized and move him in ways that aren't going to exacerbate his wounds as you go.
Amazing.
For both of these, I think you're going to be trying to beat a 3.
Okay. Does it matter which one first?
Doesn't matter which order, but I will not tell you what happens until I have all the results.
Okay. I'm rolling athletics first.
Okay.
So that is a 3 for athletics, though, I mean, I am running through the woods. I've come this way before. I'd say my keen reactions might help me if I feel like I'm going to misstep.
I think that's fair. Spend your fate point.
All right. So 5 for athletics.
Okay.
And now lore.
Correct.
Okay. And that one's going to start me off at a 5.
Okay. So successes on both. You pick Radigan up, and a couple of these other people are like trying to stick with you. They're trying to help, but they just can't keep up with you. You know, the trappers went off to collect the others. These are the farmers and the fisher folk. Like, they just don't have what it takes out here. You quickly outpace them and find that this is proving to be easier without them. It was about a 40-minute trek to where you encountered the group last time. You make the whole run in 35 this time. You are able to keep pressure on his wounds. You are monitoring his condition, and like, he's doing what he can. He's not totally dead weight, close to it, but enough that he is able to assist you when you need like a little bit of the pressure off him to get over this log or whatever. Like, he's doing his best to support, and it pays off. You are able to keep him in good condition. You're able to traverse this path back to town and get him back to the infirmary in Geth. It seems like it is the most well-stocked and equipped of the infirmaries in these 3 towns on account of hunters and trappers encounter a lot of accidents.
Sure.
So you get Radigan back where he belongs, safe and sound, squared away in a bed. And as he lays down, he again grunts, but it's a grunt of thank you. This time you're learning his language before just falling unconscious. And the healers here start to tend to him. They thank you profusely for your assistance.
Take good care of him. He's a hero. And then I'm going to turn on a heel and sprint my happy ass back.
Okay, let's go back to Kade and Maxine. So Maxine, you are face to face with this salamander within touching distance. Kade, where are you? Were you hanging back or are you like right up there as well?
Yeah, I'm just a couple steps behind Maxine, like to the right.
So this salamander understands that you are not coming at it with hostility. It seems to have some recognition of the emblem, but it is not like in possession of a language, so it's a little bit hard to read what it's thinking or what it's feeling based off of this. What's your next move? Like, you saw that it's unafraid of you. It seems ready to fight. It doesn't seem inclined to fight right now. What are you going to do from here?
I look at Kade and then back at the salamander. So, can we go? I look at Kade. I don't know what else to say. That was my pitch.
Yeah, no, I think getting it stopped is a start. I'm going to dig in my bag and pull out the spent ether core that I saved from the last place.
Oh.
And I'll hold it up and I'll take the wrench and like put it next to it and be like, we want to work on this.
Okay. There is again, like as you lift the wrench, there's just like that moment, like its hand is where its hip be at. It's ready to throw down if necessary, but it's
really long hip.
Yeah, it's extremely long. It's all hip bones all the way down. But there seems to be a degree of understanding. And it keeps its eyes on you, but you hear that hiss again, and you realize that it is coming from this salamander. It is emitting this sound with its mouth that sounds like a flame.
I'm sorry, I don't speak your language.
I just kind of start taking steps like I'm gonna walk past it and just kind of like point at it and then point at us and then point further down the hall.
Will you come with us? Will you show us where to go?
As you start to take those steps, it does like reposition itself between you and the rest of the hall. And it's still looking at you, but then it does start to kind of look around the rest of the chamber as it's doing this hiss, and you start to hear it reciprocated from elsewhere.
Oh.
And from around the hall, from behind columns, you start to see salamanders like lowering themselves from the ceiling or emerging from behind the carts. They are all in possession of varying sorts of weapons. And the weapons look to be in remarkably good condition and maybe oddly varied in their type and size and style. But none of them are like actively wielding those weapons. They are revealing themselves and starting to head in this direction.
I back up to stand next to Kade.
I knew there was a lot of them here, but I didn't really realize how many.
Yeah, I think it's because we didn't really grasp the size of the forge.
They're so tall. Oh, this forge, yeah, I was the size of the salamanders too. They're very tall.
Yeah, there's so much hip.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Over the next few seconds, around 15 salamanders make their way over. And they are not encircling you. They're not even really like inhibiting you. They are all kind of hissing as if in conversation with each other. And you can see that the one you addressed first is like leading the discussion almost. But they're having a quorum about this, it seems. And you can tell some of the hisses get a little bit angrier, like a little bit saltier, and some of them are a little bit gentler. It seems like some are in favor, some are against, but it is evident that they are like discussing your proposal. They have understood what you are trying to suggest, and they're running it by the squad. And after a couple of minutes, most of the other salamanders kind of like fall back off to the sides, giving a little bit of space, and the one that you originally addressed turns back to face the two of you. And he looks at you, Kade, and he reaches out and he touches the end of your wrench with one of those clawed fingers, and very suddenly you can feel heat through the handle of it. And it's not enough to sear you or anything. It's not painful, but it is noticeable. But as soon as he removes his finger, that heat again quickly dissipates. and he reaches out and he touches the finger to the quartz, and you don't feel any heat transfer through the quartz. And he turns back to Maxine, and he reaches out and touches the journal again, just very briefly. And he gives a little bit of like a bow almost, like a bit of a bend at the hips, and then turns his back to you, facing deeper into the chambers, and looks back at you over his shoulder.
I hold up my hand.
There's actually one more of us that will be coming. I'll point at myself, and then I point at Kade, and then I'll point at a spot next to Kade, and then hold up 3 fingers, and then point at the clockwinder symbol, and then do like a bow and arrow motion.
The salamander goes, God damn it. That's going to be like another hour. I mean,
I've charades to this the best that I can.
No.
it's pretty good. It's a good description.
Einon's on his own.
So anyway, I started blasting.
No, the one that you are talking to, again, it seems like, there's a head cock of confusion for a moment, but it seems to grasp what you're saying. And there are a few more exchanges of hisses, and several of the other salamanders go, like, take up position near the door, as if to watch for people approaching. They do ready their weapons now, prepared to fight off who comes if it's not your friend, but they leave the door open and they guard it, waiting for Einon's return.
Okay, that's just in case, but hopefully we can get in there and fix this and leave before he even gets back.
Yeah, that'll keep him out.
So you guys, you are not waiting for Einon to get back?
No.
No.
I just didn't want him to show up and be like, all right, where are they at? And then be like, well, they didn't tell us that there was another one of them coming, so this
Yeah.
must be an intruder.
That's smart. Then this one again turns his back and kind of looks over his shoulder, like waiting for you to follow.
We do?
Okay, you start to follow this salamander as he slithers across the visitor hall deeper towards the forges, leaving a small trail of heat and char in his wake along these smooth stone floors. And I think that is where we will end it this time around. Prepared to delve into adventure. And Tass isn't in the next one.
Because he's got a...
He's just running through the woods the entire episode.
No.
Just keep cutting back. Tass, what are you doing? I'm running through the woods. Great. Anyway, back to Kade and Maxine.
Because I think at this point right now, where we're getting ready to head down, he's just finding the body of...
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah. It was a half an hour to get back to the town, even after he found him. So
Whatever
we've got a minute.
whatever mazes and surprises that you all experience, I'm just going to have to do again after you guys by myself.
Tass isn't here in the room recording next episode because then he has to go through the exact same
He can't
thing.
know. He can't know what's awaiting
Yeah.
him.
And then Rev and I get a day off.
Oh, my God.
Well, find out next time. Thank you for joining us for another episode of The Crit Show. If you are interested in learning more about the Clockwinders as a setting or the Fate RPG itself, you can find that information in the episode description. If you want to see or hear any of the other stuff that we have made, check out our Patreon. That is patreon.com/The Crit Show. We have tiers at many levels, and they all include fun, unique, and interesting goodies.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for this one. Tune in next time for another adventure. Everybody say bye.
Bye!
Bye.
The Crit Show is a Crit Show Studios production, edited and produced by Brandon Wentz, with music by Jake Purley. You can find more information about us at thecritshowpodcast.com. To keep up to date with upcoming live shows, contests, and other special events, follow us at The Crit Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For even more weekly content, join us at patreon.com/thecritShow.